Hi, I'm Jesus Molina, and you're listening Stalwarts of Music.
Hi, Jesus. Namaste. Welcome to Stalwarts of Music with Aditya Veera, Season 4 for an incredible International Jazz Day special for this year. It's such an honor to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor being here.
Super. So I have a very interesting agenda planned today, and I'd like to start with some kind of familiarity. Maybe start with your interesting childhood days, your formative years in Colombia. You were raised in a non-musical family, but of course you started playing at the church and all of that happened. So could you share at that point in time what were some of the music influences or genres that shaped your listening experiences when you were a little boy?
Well, as you said, I'm coming from a background that my parents are not musicians, not my family.
Yeah.
Some of them always show musical aptitudes, but nothing special. They
Okay.
always sing in tune, they always could follow rhythm, but it didn't mean anything in that moment. So when I was a kid, my mother and my grandmother, they like gave me like a little tiny keyboard, literally like two octaves. And they noticed that I was playing Happy Birthday all over the place without no musical knowledge. My
Mm.
mom, you know what? This guy gonna be a musician. We better support him.
Okay.
And I am the result of two supporting parents because without my parents and without that support, I am not Jesus Molina today.
Yeah.
So when I was a child, definitely practicing every single day. I had a professor that showed me the scales, showed me every single thing, but he had a terrible accident a month later of teaching me. So that's when I started teaching myself because
Hmm.
I couldn't do anything else. So.
So when you started teaching yourself, I'm sure you were listening. You were an active listener. You might have been listening to certain songs or tunes. So what were some of that?
Well, I started in church because formally I am a
So
Christian.
gospel
Yeah,
music.
gospel music. And I grew up like in an incredible church, like learning all of these hard tunes and everything.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's like it was a challenge. Like it was a challenge and
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't have a track or anything. And it's like imagine like two keyboards where I gotta play on my left hand, like all the trumpet parts on my right hand, all the trombone and saxophone parts, because I was like the horn section in
Yeah.
charge
Yeah.
in the church. And I was playing like 5 or 6 services
Wow.
a Sunday, and we're talking about like all the bands, and I was the horn in charge and all of that. Of course, I could play the piano, the comping, and blah blah blah, but of course, like it took some time to get there. So in the meantime, that's how the music I was exposed. Of course, like when I'm 12 years old, I decided to move to saxophone.
Hmm.
That's when I said, you know what, I want to quit piano. I don't want to keep playing piano. It's too boring because I've been playing too much horn sections.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, let me just figure out how I'm going to do this. So I started playing saxophone and all the influences, Eric Marienthal, all of these incredible saxophone players. But you know what? When I was 15, I discovered Oscar Peterson.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is the level I want to reach on the piano. And that's exactly what took my breath away completely. So then I started playing piano like every single day of my life until today.
That's marvelous. It's such an interesting journey, right? Like starting from your religious shrine to uh, pursuing that as a career, and yeah, I'm sure you've come a long way in terms of that idea. And you also said saxophone. So any influences? Did you like Coltrane? I mean, who were some of the cool cats you were listening to when you were a little boy? Did you hear any kind of
Yeah, Eric Marienthal.
okay.
Well, I like Kenny G too. In that
Okay.
moment,
Smooth jazz. Okay.
was like
Okay.
more smooth jazz, but of course, like with Peterson, changed my entire uh, way to think.
Right, right. So what was it about Peterson that kind of helped you distinguish the whole idea of be it composition or be it the whole idea of music, right? Like you said that Peterson was like your discovery into the world of music. So what was that factor that really caught your attention about his playing style or his music?
Well, his musical freedom, the technique, the perfect time, the perfect flow of the ideas. You can tell that this guy is not thinking. He's just letting his whatever he's hearing here, he can put it here in real time.
Yeah,
So the only way you can unlock that ability is practicing.
correct.
So that's what Peterson keeps inspiring me all the time
Got it.
because it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable what he can do with that. So, and his technique, his musicality, because a lot of people, oh, he's not playing fast. Of course, he's not playing fast. He's playing fast and musical at the same time. It's so hard to do that. So
Mm,
then that's what I take from Peterson.
got it. Let's now talk a little bit about your previous album, Selah, from 2024. So, could you take us through the making of this particular album? And I would also like to know your thought process behind choosing that combination of musicians, guest artists who appear in this particular album.
Well, Selah to me, it's a love letter to music.
Okay.
Selah means endless praise. Or
Mm.
Selah was used in the Bible long time ago when like stop and listen. Selah it's an expression,
Yeah.
basic. That's what
Yeah.
it is. So, and Selah to me, as I told you, a love letter for to music is because I am so grateful with music that every composition I have in this album means something to me in my life.
Okay.
So we started like the album with the calf, for example. The calf. This song is representative to me because I was in Berklee,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Berklee before and after in my life, and I'm so grateful with Berklee because of so many opportunities I could generate because of that.
Yeah.
Latin Grammy Cultural Foundation and Juan Luis Guerra giving me this incredible scholarship to me opened the world is literally before and after. So why I start the album with CAF is because CAF represents the most iconic place in Berkeley that is
Yeah.
called the CAF. Everybody comes and hang out, eat in the CAF. So that's why I called like that. So let me remember what's the order
Sure,
in
sure. Please.
album because everything means something. For example, next it's called Dear Fall, and it's featuring with Huber Lost. By the way,
Correct.
my manager and producer called Bobby Colomby hooked this up with this incredible flute player, legendary and unique flute player, which it's impressive to me.
Correct.
Beautiful, it's a song that represents one of my favorite times of the year, especially when I was studying.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm living in the U.S. Definitely, therefore, like the fall in the U.S. is some of the beautiful things that you could ever seen. So to me, it's beautiful. Right after, I have this song called Soul Journey, and I wrote this song describing the ups and downs in this process as a professionals, as a human beings, the happy moments, the sad moments, the incredible moments, the awful moments. That's what that song is to me and means to me, and how hard this is.
Yeah.
And it's a feature with a great friend of mine called Noel Shahris, that he's the owner of the label that we did this incredible album.
Okay.
Well, right all of these ups and downs, I have this song called Melody that is dedicated to my daughter that she's now 2 years old. But when I did this album, I did it when she was born. I composed this song and I said, you know what, I wanna write a song for my daughter and I wanna call it like she's Melody Molina. So it's Melody, this song. Right after, of course, like hanging with friends, I have this song called Pichi. Pichi is a Colombian expression that definitely talks about hanging out in friends,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with friends. So
Correct.
basically, like the importance of friendship, the importance
Mm.
of hanging and being surrounded with incredible people. So that's what Pichi means to me. Well, of course, techniques and new things, new challenges that we have as a musicians, and to me always, because in Colombia, where I grew up, it's not usual to play in odd meters.
Yeah,
Like for
yeah.
example, in India, it's like tac 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 tac. That thing we don't consume that because
Mm,
we we always grew up with the 4/4. So
correct.
I created this song called quintuplets in honor to this incredible technique. Well, New Year, Blue New Year, I have this song with Lucia Micarelli. This song is a little, I think it's the darkest song I
Mm,
have in the album. So I think Blue New Year, I call it like that because usually like the New Year's always comes with the moon and nighttime, right?
yeah.
So in this case, like I just imagine like a blue moon or something like that. So Kadoshin is an old composition I had, but it means a lot to me. So definitely, all I gotta say is like these songs, and especially the last one called "Out of a Dream." I just improvise something in the piano, and my producer asks me in that moment, what it sounds like to you?"
Mm-hmm.
I think when I am dreaming, that's the sound of my dream. So
Mm,
that's exactly why the song is called Out of a Dream. So this album definitely to me is a representation of my personality.
correct.
And on top of that, it is a love letter to music because I'm so grateful with music.
That's beautiful, man. I just love the thought process behind each song, the entire theme, starting with paying homage to your music institution, which gave you a Fulbright scholarship as a prodigy. And then, of course, you mentioned about the collaboration with Hubert Laws. Hubert Laws was in Bangalore, my city, last year for a wonderful show. Uh, a great guy and a great musician. And of course, you also spoke about Peachy, and I saw a wonderful collaboration with my good friend Mohini Dey. You put out a wonderful video.
Oh, Mohini is one of
Yeah,
the biggest
yeah.
treasures India has.
Yes, indeed.
India gotta be grateful for Mohini. Mohini is such an incredible performer,
Correct.
and everybody is recognizing her worldwide. And to me,
Yeah.
it's one of the best players of the world. So you guys gotta take care of her, though.
That's for sure, man. That's for sure. She is indeed a national treasure, of music. And you also spoke a little bit about the dark themes, right? Like the thought process behind a dark theme attached to a song. So, how do you go about picking the particular soundscape when you have certain themes, right? Like something lighter versus something a little more intense and deep. So how do you decide the sonic palette? What is your thought process behind
I
that?
feel the feeling that you have on the moment. Okay.
Spontaneity.
Always when you wanna, yes, always when you're doing a song, you gotta think 10 times why you are doing it
Okay. Hmm.
and what is the reason behind that.
Right.
So then it will determine if you want to do it light or deep, or if you want to take that path, because music is like colors. You're taking so many paths, you're
Yeah.
taking so many ways to express yourself. So basically, you gotta take care of that. It's not like playing random chords. You gotta make the melody better and better and better. If you have a song that you are creating, first start with the melody and after figure out the rest because you can do 10,000 versions
Yeah.
of the same, basically.
Got it. If I may ask you, Jesus, how does your music communicate your truth? How would you define it to me in your own words?
I think my music is the representation basically of my personality. I
Okay.
don't want to go by the book, I don't want to go by the rules.
Okay.
So if people connect with my music, it means that they relate to it.
Hmm.
Some other people don't connect with my music, and that's completely fine. That's why world is the world. you know
Yeah.
so many tastes, so many colors, so many things. But all I wanna spread with my music is joy.
Okay.
And if my music can unify every single culture, every single country, because I don't want to lie to you, to me it's shocking that I can go to places like India,
Uh-huh.
places like other countries in Asia, in Europe, and I go to United States and showing my art and seeing so many fans everywhere. And it's like, to me, it's like incredible. To
Mm.
me, it's like this started on my room. This started doing the music that I love, that I am passionate, because I am like, I don't want to sound egotistical with what I'm gonna say, but the first person that gotta be fan of your own music is yourself.
Mm.
And I start being the fan. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I don't like that melody. I like the arrangement. I'm gonna post it because I like it. And boom, people starts like enjoying the process and being impressed with the thing. But you know that Oscar Peterson taught me this,
Mm-hmm.
like interview, he said. And I think if you gotta like for answering your question, like me defining what my music is, I gotta tell you that I don't play for the audience. I
Mm.
play for the, and let me explain you why.
Mm.
We are big responsibles of the music to stay in the room. The
Mm.
audience are there to witness what's happening between the player and the music.
Mm.
Because always music is made for the listener, and the first listener is the musician, is the player. Bramford Marsalis said this
Mm.
incredible quote. So that's the thing. Like by the end of the day, that's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta be as a music messengers. We gotta make music to stay in the room because some musicians put their ego above the music
Yeah.
and the music starts leaving the room little by little. And when the music leaves the room, all the audience is disconnected because audience they came to see the artist and the music. That relationship, that's a beautiful marriage right there. So that's what describes what my music is.
Beautiful. Beautiful, man. I love
Thank you.
I love how you articulated it. I love how well thought each idea was, and how you put it across. Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, so Jesus, in terms of conceptualizing all these wonderful albums that you've put out, be it an album or an EP, how do you? I know you mentioned that it's a natural process. It's very spontaneous. You go by the fly, right? Like, so what is your process of determining the sonic palette or the thematic direction of an album? Like, I'm sure you also think like a movie director, right? A musical director in your own way. So how does that process happen?
No, as I'm telling you, definitely the melody dictates
Mm.
what path, which path I want to take. And then when I start taking that path, I gotta put all the pieces together. But I think my process is that I hear first in my head.
Mm.
I see like a paint.
Okay.
That's basically what I see when I hear a melody. Boom, I see on a paint and I start painting what I already saw. That's basically the process and that's how it is.
Okay. And how much of a big role does improvisation play in your compositional process?
Too much because improvisation to me is like composing in real time. So
Okay.
basically, when I'm improvising, I am composing. And
Mm.
most of the time, like my practice routines are just improvisation.
Mm.
Improvisation, improvisation forever and ever and ever and ever. So that's what I do.
Got it. Beautiful. In terms of being a band leader, right? You will have certain expectations from your peers, your colleagues, or the direction of music or the style of performance. So, what is your underlying philosophy as a band leader?
Well, as a band leader, definitely my main thing is always try to make your musicians excited about the music they're playing. I don't want they to look at their instrument and say, "Oh my gosh, one night more." You know, I want always get them challenged.
Right.
I have a sweet problem, and it's like the sweet problem is that all musicians like they want to play my music, they want to come with me on the road, and it's so hard to pick sometimes. So that's why I decide to travel every single year with different bands and different musicians because always it's good to challenge different musicians. It's good to, of course, the environment is the most important thing, the energy. I respect my musicians because, of course, they are not just employees, they are my colleagues and they deserve so much respect because they make the show way, 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 way better. And
Mm.
my thing is like I let them to be the most musical possible. Of course, if there's something disconnected, I will let them know. I will, hey, you know what? Let's change this. Let's change that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do that. That's what I do. So, in other words, being a good band leader doesn't mean being like telling them, okay, you gotta do this. This is the only way. No, no, I like to hear them, but
Yeah.
of course, with all the respect that they deserve and all of that. That's basically what I do.
That's sweet, man. I mean, yeah, from whatever you said, you are not for the philosophy. You believe in democracy and not dictatorship.
Exactly.
I think that'll be a good way to conclude that statement, right? Well, Randy Brecker, who's going to be our second guest for International Jazz Day, has been a significant presence on the album Agape, right? So, what made him a special presence for someone like you?
Well, Randy Brecker definitely was an incredible collaborator. Like he believed on my song. We
Yeah,
invited him to play in Agape. He's playing in one of the tracks.
correct.
So I played with him in New York in 2018 too. Definitely, the guy always was cool, so humble. He taught me so much. Like it doesn't matter if you are an incredible jazz legend or something like that. So it doesn't mean that you gotta be ego or something like that. It is the most valuable lesson.
And what were some of the key learnings from your collaboration from Mr. Brecker?
Well, the musicality that he has in general, incredible musicality, his professionalism, and he sent me like a couple versions of the solo, and he told me if you need to change something, let me know. So it's like, come on, who am I to ask you to change your solo? You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, very, very sweet gentleman indeed. Yeah. In terms of these challenging times where we have digital music and a lot of digitization, how well are your recordings selling in these challenging times in terms of physical copies? Do you see that at all in certain demographies right now?
well, I learned now that these type of things are souvenirs. When
Correct.
people are really, really fan,
Yeah.
they buy these type of albums, vinyls, and we're selling definitely limited edition. We have
Correct.
all these ones available still. And
Yeah.
well, it's doing, of course, like it's not like before, but it's doing compared from before, it's doing great. So.
Okay. Okay. Let's touch upon the art of mixing solo piano. So, what can you tell me about the art of mixing solo piano?
Mixing solo piano as an engineer, you mean?
Uh, yeah, from that standpoint, right? Like, how does that differ from how does it work in a band context, right?
Well, in a band context, definitely. Mm, me, but I don't understand the question. Mixing a grand piano, I understand is like an engineer. Like if
Correct.
I am playing solo,
Correct.
the sound, like
Yeah.
what I'm looking for.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Precisely.
Well, definitely the sound. I love the warm sound on the piano. I don't like the sharp or the bright sound.
Okay.
That's definitely my thing. So I try to take care of that type of things by the end because my sound is more warmer, is more. like like felt basically.
Hmm.
So in a piano solo setting, definitely the reverb situation is so important. The mics, the pickup mics gotta be like well located. Otherwise, I don't get the result I'm looking for.
Mm. And if I were to ask you, are you working on any particular symphonic compositions right now in your?
Yeah, I've been working on them
Okay.
forever. We did an incredible show with the Boston Pops and Branford Marsalis
Yeah.
back in May of 2024. And I played Melody, for example. I
Okay.
played Selah. I played like all of these songs I have in symphonic format. And of course, so many other things that I have.
And in terms of these ideas of melodies, right? Like you mentioned that your compositions and ideas have been inspired by a lot of unconventional influences. You're someone who doesn't like to go by the book, right? So could you give me a few examples of those?
Well, all my melodies comes from inspirations. All my
Yeah.
melodies comes, I'm gonna be honest, from God.
Okay.
God gives me that melodies, and I don't know where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
Times it's like okay, it's gotta be God because, like, come on, you see your surroundings, you see all of the beautiful things that surround us as a human beings. So inspiration is in everywhere. It's like we are like that type of like like when the phones used to have like I don't know how you say in English like that thing like
Antenna. Yeah.
antenna. Okay,
Yeah.
in Spanish it's the same. So we're big antennas and we're
Yeah.
just collecting information.
Yeah.
So that's when whenever you hear a melody, you just gotta grab it. And I take my phone and I have like and a shortcut, I have like the voice recorder because I don't lose any moment. So that's basically what I do with the melodies.
Okay. I'd like to surprise you with a small introduction to a very young gentleman from India. His name is Mantra Upadhyay, who's a 14-year-old boy. So he wanted to showcase a Chick Corea tune, which is called Armando's Rumba, in his own style. He's just 14 years old, and he also is a student who's studying at the NCPA right now. So I thought it'll be great to showcase a small tune, a little bit of a small tune by Mantra.
Yes, please do.
Yep. So that was a sneak peek of Mantra Upadhyay for you. What do you think, Jesus?
Great. He gotta keep practicing the way he's practicing right now, and you'll see an incredible progress. He's
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of yours, and he's going to be coming down for your show at the NCPA in Mumbai.
Amazing. Cannot wait to come back to Mumbai.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's talk about the hot topic of interest. Your wonderful show that's coming up at the NCPA Mumbai on the 5th of June. You're playing at the NCPA. So what's special? Could you take us through the contingent, the people who you're going to be playing with, and how is it going to be different from all the other masterpieces that have happened in the past over the years?
Amazing. Well, this show I'm bringing is completely different than the
Yeah.
one I brought. Last time I brought two drummers and one bass. This year I'm bringing one drummer, one bass, one guitar, and tunes that you never heard before, me playing live there. Because I'm showcasing my newest album with all of these references. And I have a big surprise by the end of the show.
Hmm.
I cannot say what is the surprise.
We'll wait for it.
You gotta wait for it because you are not expecting that on the show.
Okay.
So definitely you guys gotta stay tuned, but it's the very last song that I play in the show. It is a big surprise, and you'll see. So
Super.
about the musicians I'm bringing, so Kane Daniel from the USA on drums, incredible drummer.
Okay.
He played with me since 2020. We did a viral video Nam show back in the
Uh-huh.
day. So he played in my newest record, Selah. So he's the drummer of this project. So we have Rock Choi from South Korea, an incredible guitar player. When I met him, I said
Wow.
I met perfection. So the guy is an incredible guitar player. So we bring in Alex Polybass. He's from the USA too. Incredible bass player, all the jazz, bebop, all the beautiful melodies and incredible technique. So I'm gonna be playing on my show, like all the songs and very well organized and everything. So and once again, the big surprise
Yeah.
is till the end.
Wow. Wow. Right on. I'm just getting goosebumps listening to all of this. I'm just going to be counting number of days for your show.
Thank you so much.
Super. Do you perceive a spiritual element in your musical output?
Yeah, definitely. I strongly believe that if we can touch hearts, if we can like help people to relax with the music, to have different emotions when they hear the music, definitely that's the most important part for me.
Got it. And during our conversation so far, you've brought the word God a couple of times, right? So does God take a particular shape or form for someone like you, Jesus?
Definitely, my God, like I understand we have different gods, but by the end of the day, the God that we praise everybody in the world
Yeah.
is the God that wants peace and love, and we loving each other. And by the end of the day, God is love. My form of God is the one that is love and spirit love to everybody. Of course, like to me, my culture, God to me is God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, like that's. But I understand like different cultures and everything. Like by the end of the day, we want the same thing. We
Hmm.
want love and we want peace, and that's exactly what we want. So that's what the form of God is to me.
Beautiful, man. Joe Zawinul is, of course, another phenomenon in the world of music. He often said that the goal of a jazz artist is to tell stories to their music. So, is there an element of storytelling when it comes to instrumental music that you put out?
Of course, because each section represents a story, the development of the story. Of course, you have the introduction. Right after you go to the development of the story, of course, the tense part, and after the release part, and the happy end.
Hmm.
That's basically what the storytelling is to me in the compositions. Doesn't matter what it is. Like when singing songs, it's like you are presenting a problem. My girlfriend left me when you're singing. My girlfriend left me, but what I gonna do? And the chorus, what it is, them lifting a little bit, and right after comes the bridge. The bridge gives you a solution of the problem. So basically, always storytelling is in instrumental music, singing music, everywhere. Of course, I strongly believe that.
Marvelous, man. Your approach to singing has taken great shape over the past couple of years, and there has been an evolution when I listen to you sing, right? So, how has your approach to singing evolved over the past couple of years, Jesus?
Man, I don't want to lie to you. I started singing as a joke and I saw the traction I'm getting
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And of course, opportunities. I'm gonna be releasing my album singing and everything. And definitely I've been surrounded by a lot of singers and I write a lot of songs for them, a lot of songs for me. I'm a songwriter too, not just melodies, it's with lyrics too, and definitely it started as a joke to me, and now it's serious. And of course, in the show, in the instrumental show, I am singing in the middle part, like three, four songs, something like that.
And you're comfortable doing so? Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, comfortable singing and
Super,
playing at the same time. Yeah,
super, man, super. We spoke about a lot of foundational topics, like we spoke about harmony, harmonic development, melodies, construction, compositions, etc. If we had to take rhythmic concept, how has your rhythmic concept evolved over the years? If you could just give a gist.
definitely. As I told you, like from the 4/4 I started, and now I started evolving to all of these incredible cultures, like world culture, like all of these incredible music that incorporates different rhythms. I strongly believe that rhythm is everything by the end of the day. Doesn't matter what you're playing, if you're playing with a great rhythm, it's gonna sound really good. Imagine if you can combine great rhythm with great harmony and great melodies,
Hmm.
that's when your thing sounds unique. So that's the three elements we gotta take care. But the rhythm is basically, to me, the most important. It has been evolving since I decided to work on my rhythm. When I recognized that one of my biggest weakness was the rhythm, that's when I said, you know what? Let me go for it and let me fix that problem. And that's how I did.
Great. In fact, I was having an interesting chat with Archie, and Archie told me that you're in Switzerland right now. So I
Yes.
was wondering if you have met this gentleman in Switzerland called Nick Bach, who's a very good friend of mine.
No, no, not yet, man. Hopefully he comes to the concert tomorrow.
I would be happy to connect the two of you because Nick has got a wonderful club in Switzerland called Exile, and Ronin Rhythms. They're quite popular in Switzerland, and I'm sure both of you will hit it off. So I will uh, be happy to connect the two of you. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. In terms of this whole idea of a performance, right? How do you ensure that you channel your energy and you know make it consistent throughout a concert, right? Like how do you ensure that you captivate an audience's attention span over the whatever 90 minutes or 120-minute set that you put forth? How does that happen for you? How do you plan it?
Well, I think that the more you perform, the more you read the audience.
Okay.
So, and I've been noticing like when I start, like, okay, I start like the show like really high, right after we go a little down. It's like if you can maintain the roller coaster situation, that's exactly what my concept is. And always giving an element new, always a new element
Yeah.
to the song, to the style, to everything. Like it's like after a lot of bunch of jazz fusion tunes, I start singing a pretty ballad from the
Mm.
egg. And
Okay.
we're talking about like, okay, it maintains the show entertained because there's a lot of styles happening in the
Yeah.
same cover.
Right.
Okay, like it maintains captive the audience. Okay, what he gonna do next? What he gonna? I play other instruments, and you'll see it on June 5th. So
Okay. Okay. Got it. You did mention that you got into this whole management tie-up with the Columbia group. And fun fact, I had reached out for an interview with Bobby Columbia a couple of years back. And that's when Archie told me that you will be coming down to India, and this whole idea of having you on my show just popped out of nowhere. Right. So before that, I believe you were doing it all DIY on your own, right? and I'd interact. So when you were doing it, I mean, in one of your interviews, you mentioned that you were doing it on your own, right? It was just you with like another name or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I was doing that.
Was
I
was
was
your
my
was your s-
manager.
was your pseudo name Moises Perez by any chance?
Exactly, that was my pseudonym. Yeah, that
Oh,
actually is my cousin. That's the name of my cousin, but
okay,
he speak English, so I was using his name
okay.
to do my business back in the day.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. Such a fond memory. I thought I should definitely ask you. Yeah. In the interest of time, I'd like to come to the last part of our agenda, which is a very quick rapid fire. Let's see how you do in terms of the rapid fire. All right.
Let's see. I don't know.
Jesus, so first question for you, my friend. What is that one song that always makes you cry?
Vuelve a llamar Jesús Adrián Romero.
Oh, wow.
Spanish.
Interesting. Interesting choice. Yeah. What does the song mean?
That I gotta go back to my childhood when I didn't have problems, when I didn't have anything. So,
Okay. Super. Super. On the contrary, what is your favorite guilty pleasure song?
in my concert,
Sorry?
in my concert, you mean?
Not in your concert, like any song that you like, which is a guilty pleasure song.
Whiskey by a country singer that I don't have the name right now, but it's a pretty famous. Morgan something is called. So,
Okay, got it.
country music.
Got it. Got it. If you had to put together an all-star piano ensemble with pianists dead or alive, just piano, who would you like to be a part of this dream ensemble with you?
Art Tatum, Oscar Peterson, and Jesus Molina. That's it.
Right on, man. That's just it didn't take you too long to decide that. Super. What's your favorite cuisine?
Peruvian.
Oh wow. I've never tasted that kind of food. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Is the food spicy or like what does it taste like? What does Peruvian food taste like?
Incredible homemade food, but fancy food. Like Japanese people came to Peru
Uh-huh.
too. They did an incredible fusion.
Okay.
It's like Japanese slash Peruvian. So that's my favorite one, basically. But Peruvian, it means that it has Japanese food involved.
Super. What are the top five qualities of a musician that you personally embody?
Well, first, I see how great the rhythm is.
Okay.
Right after, how fast they can think in rhythm changes.
Mm-hmm.
Right after, how fast they can compose in real time.
Okay.
Right after, the tone of the instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, how great is their technique or not?
Super. As a musician, I'm sure you have been exploring different territories, different musical territories, experimentation, right? So, what is that one territory that you want to tap into that you haven't so far as yet?
Classical.
Hmm. What are the top five songs on your playlist right now that you're really, uh, grooving to at this point in time?
Well, I have Suave by Luis Miguel. I have Se quedó conmigo, Jesús Adrián Romero. I have Vuelve a llamar, Jesús Adrián Romero. I have Blues in C, Oscar Peterson. Always go back to that one.
Okay.
And Yesterday's Art Tatum. That's it.
Super, super. If you had to describe your experience being on my podcast, Stalwarts of Music, how would you describe it, Jesus?
Great. Thank you for having me. Incredible, great questions and interesting. And the most important part is that you did your homework and you know who you are interviewing. So
Super. Thank you so much. Means a lot coming from you. One last question for today. Down in the distant horizon, what would you like to be remembered as?
as a music lover that left a footprint that everybody wants to follow.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Jesus, for tuning in. It's been such an incredible blessing, honor, and a privilege to have you on the show. This interview will be aired on Big FM Shillong and Aizawl, two incredible radio stations in the northeastern part of India, for International Jazz Day special. And it'll
Thank
also be out on my YouTube channel, Aditya Veera 1994. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. Thank you so much for tuning in.